All right, guys, let me go ahead and help you a little bit with the staying sharp for 5.3. Remember, tonight's homework is staying sharp 5.3, and your online 5.3 more practice questions. So don't forget about those. All right, it took Mary 15 seconds to walk 10 feet. How fast was she walking in feet per second? Well, remember, if it's feet per second, it's feet per seconds. How many feet were there? 10. How many seconds? 15. 10 divided by 15 gives you 0.6 repeating feet per second. Now the ratio of width to length, so it's going to be width, length for each rectangle. Then we need to simplify it. Well, width to length here is 2 to 8, which when simplified, I can simplify both of these by dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. It's kind of like the same thing as 2/8 reduces to 1/4 because you can divide both by 2. 2/8 is the same as 1/4. 6 to 24, so 6:24. I can divide both by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Let's do 5 to 20. 5 to 20, I can divide both by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. I'm seeing a pattern. 3 to 12. Divide both by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So all of these, 2 to 8, 6 to 24, 5 to 20, 3 to 12, are all the same ratio. They're all equivalent. So are the rectangles similar? Yes. They all have the same ratio. 2/8 is the same thing as 1/4. 5/20 is the same thing as 1/4. They're all in a ratio of 1 to 4. So are they similar? Yes, they all have the same ratio. All right, so number 3. In algebra class last year, students who earned grades of an A spent 4.7 more hours on homework per week than students who earned grade C. Okay, so people who got an A spent 4.7 hours more than people who got a C. Well, that kind of makes sense. Write an algebraic rule, which means equation, which means equal sign, to represent the situation, using A for the hours spent on homework per week for students who earned grades of A, and C for the hours spent on homework per week for students who earned a grade of C. Well, let's write this out in English first. People who got an A, so people who got an A, studied 4.7 more hours than people who got a C. Coming over here. People who got a C. Okay, now let's translate. People who got an A, they said we're going to represent as A. A for the hours spent on homework per week for students who earned A. So people who got an A, we're going to call them A. Studied, we can say equals. 4.7 doesn't need translation. 4.7 more means plus. People who got a C is C. So in algebraish, it says A equals 4.7 plus C. In English, people who got an A studied 4.7 more than C. All right, for number 4, Corey bought 2 boxes of candy and 1 soda at the movies and paid $8. Christopher bought 1 box of candy and 1 soda and paid $5.50. How much does 1 box of candy cost? How much does 1 soda cost? Well, hang on. To really put yourself in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture. Because Corey bought 2 boxes of candy and 1 soda, and he paid $8. All right, well, Christopher bought 1 box of candy and 1 soda, and he paid $5.50. So the only difference in their order was this box of candy. So had Corey ordered this and this, he would have paid the same as Chris. But $8 to $5.50, he paid, how much more did Corey pay than Chris? That's right, $2.50. So where did the $2.50 come from? How did Chris pay $2.50 less? Well, that means that this guy has to equal $2.50. It's the only way, because this and this has to equal $5.50 together, that has to equal $2.50. So candy costs $2.50. Well, if candy costs $2.50 and Chris only ordered a candy and a soda, what's left over out of the $5.50 total for that? Subtract $2.50 and you get $3. Let's double check that the soda is $3 and each candy is $2.50. In your calculator, add up $2.50 plus $2.50 plus $3, and you get 8. In your calculator, hit $2.50 plus 3, and you get $5.50. So drawing a picture and putting yourself in that situation helped us get through that one. Number 5, you should be pretty good at this. 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 is equivalent to 256, which is equivalent to 4 to the 4th power. 4 times 4 times 4 is equivalent to 64, which is the same thing as 4 to the 3rd power. 4 times 4 is 16, which is the same thing as 4 squared. 4 is the same thing as 4 to the 1st power. By the way, class, little hint, what is 4 to the 0 power? 1. All right, 3 soccer players, Alberto, Ben, and Chike, are forming a wall to defend against a penalty kick. How many different ways can they line up side by side? Make a list and explain how you know you found all the possible arrangements. Well, we can go Alberto, Ben, then Chike. Berto can go first. We can go Berto, Chike, and then Ben, Chike, and Alberto. C can be first, so Chike, then Ben, then Alberto. Let's see, the only thing is Alberto hasn't been in the middle. So if Alberto's in the middle, we can do Chike here and Ben here. And if Alberto's in the middle again, we can do Ben here and Chike here. So the only thing I see is that Alberto is twice on the right, twice in the middle. That probably means he needs to be twice first. So if we do ABC, we could probably do ACB. Now let's double check that we don't have any repeats. Nope. A's on the left twice, right twice, and in the middle twice. B is on the right side twice, in the middle twice, and on the front twice. C is on the right twice, twice in the middle, and twice on the left. That's how we know that we made all the possible arrangements. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arrangements. All right. Good luck on your online homework.